Devil May Cry on Netflix. Is this show hot or does it flame out? Let's talk about it. What Geek Variants is currently freaking show just dropped. It is early in the morning for me. Show just dropped. I have watched 4 episodes out of 8 so far. They dropped all 8 of this Devil May Cry Netflix adaptation. And so far, what I can say is I'm liking where it's going. Now, keep in mind, I have not played the original Devil May Cry series. It's something my brother played. We swapped off and played a lot of different games as we grew up with that, so I didn't play everything, but I watched a lot of stuff, so I know who the characters are. With this being said, this is a new adaptation that anyone can get into. It explains everything very well, and you can pick this up and just start watching and enjoy it for what it is. You don't need to have any background information whatsoever. It helps if you do for some other things, but so far the show is solid. Right now, halfway through for that, I'm interested in how things are gonna turn out. Characters are interesting. Dante is doing his things. He's like a carefree, just kind of want to have fun demon hunter versus this wild white rabbit who is just causing all types of problems. I think like Mad Hatter's, friend on a bender right now. Like, he is tearing up everything with no regard to anybody or any life whatsoever. So things are getting messy and they are only going to get worse from here. With that being said, that's the no spoilers part right there. It is a good show. Definitely check it out. From here on out, it's spoilers for at least episodes 1 through 4, and then I will cover 5 through 8 as I can. As I had said, I've not had sleep, so we're gonna see how far we go. So as far as 1 through 4, it starts off with Dante more or less just kind of doing his thing, introduce himself by saving somebody, and in the process of saving somebody, he ends up taking out a couple of demons and doing his thing. That's him on his end. On the other end, you have the White Rabbit who was running through what looked like a medieval kind of castle thing, whatever. Turns out it was Vatican City that was raided, and the White Rabbit actually hired some mercenaries to go in there and tear the place up so he could go get his hands on a sword that he needed for some experiment that he's got going on. And in the process of grabbing his sword, even the mercenaries he's hired, nobody was safe. He tore up everything and proceeded to exit out stage left with his sword. All right. Now, throughout the entire this, you can see that he was wearing a blue necklace. Dante's wearing a red necklace. These are 2 pieces of the puzzle that need to be solved as the story goes on. We actually have an opening with Limp Bizkit, and they're using the song Rolling by Limp Bizkit, which I thought was an interesting choice, and it works. It works very well. Like, the intro makes me not want to skip it. Like, I am definitely watching the intro every time that I watch this episode, each episode as it goes on. But because of this, the world becomes aware of demons. They were already aware of demons to a certain capacity because of the Dark Realm Command, or DARKCOM as it's called, which was set up by the Vice President Baines, or he at least is part of it. They have more concrete evidence now that demons are present and kind of run everything. And now the world kind of knows that demons are present and running everything. Running around doing a bunch of stuff. I won't say running everything, but they're definitely causing a lot of mayhem. Enzo Farino is a contact who is more or less the side character. I won't even say comic relief because Dante's been pretty much part of, good part of the comic relief as we go on. But he is kind of the middleman who has been kind of the go-between between everybody. And he's always going to sell it to the highest bidder, whoever that may be. Now, we find out that Dante's dad has been gone for a while and that his mom and twin brother were killed at some point in time. I don't know when, don't know how old they are, but it was very clear that when the demons made their way through the demon realm of which they are from, they project their consciousness out into other creatures and so like that, and they're able to come through and do whatever they do. And it's possible that they were killed by someone of that nature. Again, I'm not quite sure. We don't have all the details, but it's something that we are aware of. A task force was sent in to go get the rabbit. Once they saw footage that the rabbit had taken out the Vatican, and only one guy survived, a guy named Anders, and he was the one who requested to be on the special task force, the strike team that was created to handle these kind of demon encounters. Yeah, the demon encounters are a Mishmash team. The main character is Mary Arkham, which is funny because we have one of the greatest voices, of our time, freaking, who has been present in various things. Kevin Conroy, who is playing Baines, and this is a posthumous release, so may he rest in peace, and all things for his family. But this is Batman, and the fact that his name is Bane, that's just funny because again, I get the Batman reference, and Mary, whose last name is Arkham, another Batman reference. And throughout the show, there are several references to Street Fighter, Dance Dance Revolution, and other things that are shown throughout throughout the show. So it's funny just to see all the pop culture references, but just that in particular sticks out to me because of Kevin Conroy. But even with that being said, like, he is the voice cast, have been doing great so far. So that, and again, as soon as I hear his voice, it's like immediately hone in Kevin Conroy. But he's the one who sets up the task force, and he also gets several mercenaries involved. And it's like, look, we got to go get Dante because he's got the other piece of the puzzle. Because they basically figure out with one of their scientists that these jewels are creating these radiating wavelengths that could open up the portal, and the sword is the key. They need to be connected together to put together with the sword to create the key to dispel the realm thing that was put up by this creature named Sparda, because this is the sword of Sparta, not Sparta, like freaking Romans, Sparda, Sparda. Because Sparta worked for, and you find out later, but Sparta worked for this King Magus or Mundus, King Mundus. Mundus was a demon king, and he wanted to take over everything. And Sparta was like, you know what, I'm not having it, and ended up taking out several demons, protecting humankind, and end up coming to our world, and then providing the shield between it, and using the sword to provide the shield between the worlds, and then split the crystal in half, which is the red and blue pieces because it used to be purple. And this is what is protecting, from the gate from being open. So these pieces need to be reacquired and put together, and whatever needs to be done with this key to open up this portal. Because of this, all the demons were kind of trapped in this other realm, but that's why they have to project their consciousness through to get through, and only the smaller demons can kind of get through. Now, Mundus wasn't very happy about this. Of course, he kind of vengeance on Sparta, and eventually looked like Sparta went missing or was taken out at some point, but again, nobody really knows. So Dante ends up, being the target of Vice President because he has one of the amulet pieces. They already tried to protect the White Rabbit, didn't go so well, so let's try and get Dante. So basically, they get ready to send this team of blunt force, and before they do, the strike team, they're taught to recognize demons by different things, such as elongated limbs, different facial patterns, things spread apart with that, and basically they find out there's a demon in the group, and they went ahead and exorcised that demon real quick before they went out on a mission. Just the fact that they know their stuff, and we showcase how, in BA they are, it was definitely something to see. So going in, seeing all the mercenaries go to work to try to get Dante. Dante took care of every single body. Like, he's literally just rocked everybody, starting off with a pool cue and a couple of balls. Literally just took them out, and his speed is incredible. Like, he is moving insanely fast throughout the entirety of that fight, taking out several mercenaries. And he eventually realizes that they're a decoy, and the strike team comes in to do what they got to do, and they come to take the necklace, and eventually they end up taking the necklace and capturing Dante, and they use it to examine. Dante is having, we're trying to figure stuff out, and in the processes, we found out that, everything with Anders and stuff isn't as it seems. He's there because he's trying to take care of his daughters and his family, stuff like that. But while all this is going on, and eventually Dante being captured and examined, more demons come out. Bigger, stronger demons come out because they're honing in on freaking the crystal. They want the crystal, so they attack the truck, and they're trying to fight all the other stuff. And while they're doing this, we find out that Apparently, Dante looks like he's the son of Sparta, and this is what the problem that Mary Arkham was having when she attacked him. And none of the demon bullets that they have created that make demons explode, none of them worked on him. And he didn't have like the bulging heart piece that they displayed off the other demons that they found inside the mercenaries. So he's some kind of hybrid, and they didn't know, like they knew that they existed, but they never thought they would see one. So they do different things like setting up internal bombs inside of him to, if he gets too far outside of a radius, to blow him up, because they don't have anything else to really counteract him, especially because he heals so quickly. But they managed to keep him detained for now until these bigger demons show up, and then eventually he gets loose and he ends up fighting them off, and he almost takes them all out, but he got too far and that explosive went off and jacked him up, which caused him to be recaptured by the demons. Be recaptured, period, but he was captured by the demons, and as well as Bane and Enzo captured while the strike team was kind of separated, and the strike team kind of had to fight their way out and get to safety. Now, those are like the first 3 episodes roughly, and the 4th episode is where stuff starts really going into high stakes, because with Dante, Enzo, and the vice president captured, they're trying to figure out what's going on. The vice president is very on the holier than thou, like this is meant, from God, and this is his blessing. I'm not meant to die here. This is the way things should be. If you harness your power, Dante, for this, for that, the amazing things that you could do to fight back. Like he's just kind of getting this whole holier than thou spill. So with that, while this is going on and they're captured, eventually Dante breaks free and ends up fighting Red and Blue, which are 2 of the demons. They're kind of like fire and ice. While this copy of Sparta looks like some kind of weird black version of Sparta, like this demon, it looks more a demonic version of than what Sparta already looked. Plus this plant type demon are fighting the strike team. So it's 2 over here and 2 over here, and everybody's scrapping. Now, this Sparta clone, whatever he is rocking everybody, because he takes out Sentry, which is one of the tech girls. He takes out the lovers, which is the mask girl, because I'm trying to get these names, but I can't get these names. So mask girl takes her out. Her lover ends up sacrificing himself to protect her before she gets taken out. So that's how he gets taken out. The black guy, I think King, I think his name, like he gets taken out. He gets his arm taken off, and then he gets taken out, thrown brutally into a wall. Like the entire strike team is dismantled, like with no effort whatsoever by this thing. And Mary ends up having to run to survive and try to figure out what to do. And this thing is now hunting her. She eventually ends up running down to this apartment where she convinces them to let her in because it's just her, and she hides. Sparta comes in there, or I guess it's not necessarily Sparta, it's some kind of weird version of him. This demon comes in there, smashes stuff, looks around, doesn't see her, and leaves. While this is going on, Dante is still scrapping in the fight back on a plane. That's where they're captured. They're like on Air Force One or whatever the case would be. So they're captured there and they're fighting. And in the entire process, like again, they end up kind of talking a bunch of trash about him and talking about his mom and his dad and whatever. And he ends up getting a demon trigger. He gets a demon arm, eyes are glowing red, like he's ready to scrap. But it's only triggered by like extreme forms of stress or frustration or something to that effect. And after he gets it triggered, it ends up, he uses it and he takes out one of the ones, he takes out the fire one. So the ice one is still there, but the trigger goes away. I guess it's only short-lived. And then, he's like, well, you took out my brother, so taking out everything, and he blows up the plane. That's where that ends for Dante. Mary, she ends up finding out backstory about the demons and stuff like that in the demon realm after talking to the people that hit her, because she finds out that they're lower demons as well. And she's ready to pull the trigger on them till they explain, like, no, we're from a place called Makai, which is the demon realm and what you call hell. And this place is like really bad. Like even just the atmosphere there, like to breathe, most children don't survive their first year. So when they had the opportunity given by the White Rabbit to go through a portal they created to get to this realm, they took it. But they realized that humans are no better off because they can't live in peace. They have to stay in hiding because humans are, just against everything. You're a demon. You're evil. Like, we got to take you out. When that's the same feeling that Mary had. But now it seems like she has some empathy, because as she decides to exit and lower her weapon, she says, I got to get out to my team. I will figure out what I can do to protect you. And she doesn't call it protect you and the other demons. No, she says protect you and the other families. So like she's starting to understand and have a little bit of empathy for them. And that's where it ends with episode 4 altogether. So stuff is ramping up pretty good. I like the way it's going. I'm enjoying the show. I don't think I'm gonna make it the next 4 episodes until later today, and I'll be able to drop a review on that later today. So just make sure you hit that lovely red subscribe button. Again, love to hear from you. Love to see what you guys think in the comments and stuff like that. And I'm going to continue watching this. But yeah, this show is pretty good, especially for someone who's never really watched, played all the Devil May Cry games. Just kind of watched pieces here and there, and I know some of the characters. Like this is anybody who started all again. This is really, really good to just start off and kind of get a feel for it. And I think that's Netflix's stick with One Piece and everything else. Avatar, they're making it easy for you to kind of come in and learn about stuff. If you have prior knowledge, cool. If you don't, you can come in from the ground floor, learn, and still be a part of the conversation with everything's going on. So make sure they're being inclusive with that. And I think that's really fantastic so far. So hats off to Netflix for that. And again, the voice acting is on point here. Kevin Conroy, Johnny Young Bosch, Hoon Lee is the White Rabbit, Chris Coppola is Enzo, Benjamin Abiola doing Anders, Scout Taylor Compton doing Mary. Like, this is really, really good voice acting. These characters are like, I'm feeling the distress in their voice. I'm feeling, commitment. Freaking Anders. The fact that Anders, I got to go back to Anders real quick. Anders betrayed them because the White Rabbit has his daughters. So that's why he turned his back on them. And he's kind of he kind of gave the crystal up. And again, he's doing what any father would do, trying to protect his family. So it's like, can't really fault him for that, but it's still like the greater good here. So like that. But what are you going to do? Like, you got his family. He's going to do whatever it takes to save them. I get it. But that's kind of where, and he's still in play, and nobody knows yet except for the bad guys. So I don't know if he's going to have like a heroic, come to pass and sacrifice himself and, make sure things go the right way, or if he's going to lose his daughters and it's going to cause him a flip or something. I don't know. But Anders is the wild card right now. He's playing along and doing what they need to do, but you can tell he has, reservations about doing this stuff. So again, character development is on point. They're doing really well. So please, if you haven't already, check out the show. Make sure to check it out. Watch it and come back here and talk to me and tell me what you think about the first 4 episodes, or when I do the next set of episodes, you can talk about all of it there. Doesn't matter. So that's all I got for this one. I will catch you guys in the next one as I continue watching. Peace.